Hey everyone.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for being with us on our Sunday. Deb Allers, how are you? Christine, Mary, Cindy, Debbie. We got lots of people. Thanks for being with us. Put your names. Some of you I can't see the names, but thanks for being with us for our Sunday gathering. Each and every week, almost 2 years, not quite 2 years, but almost 2 years that we've been gathering every Sunday. And just to be with our like-minded family who are all standing for the same thing. And it's been a rough year, and we're going to try to put an end to the year and create what's coming up for the future, 2024 Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's legacy. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, because there's lots going on and lots that can be going on. And I just want to share this little image. I could have done a better job, but I did it really fast. And when we were doing it, what we did is I put the thing as step into your power. It was a message that we received. I'll call it divine download, right? And so it was really stepping into your power. And then in talking about that, really what I realized is this is something, it's ours. It's our power. There's no more individual or a family. And we all have our own individual power, but when you step into your power, you're amplifying all of ours. And so thank you to all of you who have been in this fight, in this journey with us for so long, and figuring out where we branch to next. So thank you for being with us. I just want to say hi to everyone real quick, and then we're going to turn it over to Ma to kind of get us centered. So Howard, I want to check in with you. How's it going?
Real good. I'm just happy to be here with everybody, and thanks everybody for tuning in. And here is my New Year's resolution: reach them now.
Yeah.
Let's get those dams down in 24.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that hat. That's awesome. Deborah, how are you?
I'm so good. And it's the last day of the year, and the numbers add up to the step of a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's waltz into this new year and new magic and just everything that's all good. I love you guys.
Love you too, Deborah. Christina, how are you? Oops, I have you muted. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm good. I'm with Howard. I'm talking about reaching the dams this year. It's got to be this year, and it has been a year. And I just say, may the tears that we all cried, really water the seeds that we're planting this year, because that's what we got to do. Because I know it's been a hard year for us all, and I just love you all. I'm so happy to be here and part of this pod. Yep.
Love you too. Mwah.
And everyone's names that I'm putting up, you guys just really, I want all of you to come on the show. So, you know, there's been conversation like, should we continue TokiTV? And I think that's been answered. Everyone is asking to please, yes, let's continue to gather. But everyone who watches and comments, like this next year, let's make it a point to have you come on with us. So we should all, you know, we're all part of the same pod, and we should see all of our faces. So send me a message and let me know when you can jump on, and we'll do that. Alma, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to spend some of the last moments of this year with you all. Every time we're together, I feel like we manifest something, whether it's just in thought, you know, that thoughts are things, and we manifest things when we're together, and it's always very powerful. So I'm happy to be with you all today.
Awesome. And
Thanks,
Alejandro, how are you, Alejandro?
Yeah.
Happy New
Still reserve spiked pineapple. It's amazing. It's amazing. You don't know if you're here or you are somewhere else after you drink this.
Happy
To be
New
honest with you, thank you so much, everyone. Happy New Year. I want to stay here for 30 minutes because someone will pick me up. So I am. It doesn't mean I am a magician, so I had to go. You know.
Sounds good.
Happy New Year.
I hear Bert in the background.
Yeah, for you it's 1 o'clock. For me, it's 4 o'clock here. It's late. You are good with the time. For me, it's not good.
Thanks, Alejandro. Ma, let's turn it over to you.
Oh, it's just good to be here, and everything that everyone's already said, it is exactly right. We're family and stronger together. And I just wanted to start off with something that I read from a book and someone sent to me. And I hope you can hear me okay, because I'm downstairs and Bert is awake and wanting to take part in the show. But I'm going to speak as loud as I possibly can. And I hope this helps you as much as it helped me. My friends, do not lose heart. We were made for these times. I have heard from so many recently who are deeply and properly bewildered. They are concerned about the state of affairs in the world right now. Ours is a time of almost daily astonishment and often righteous rage over the latest degradations of what matters to most civilized visionary people. You are right in your assessments. The luster and hubris that have aspired to, while endorsing acts so heinous against children, animals, elders, everyday people, the poor, the unguarded, the helpless, is breathtaking. Yes, I urge you, ask you, gentle you, to please not spend your spirit dry by bewailing these difficult times. Especially do not lose hope, most particularly because the fact is that we were made for these times. Yes, for years we have been learning and practicing, been in training for and just waiting to meet on this exact plane of engagement. I grew up on the Great River Mersey and recognise a seaworthy vessel when I see one. Regarding awakened souls, there have never been more able vessels in the waters than there are right now across the world. And they are fully provisioned and able to signal one another as never before in the history of humankind. Look out over the prow. There are millions of boats of righteous souls on the waters with you. Even though your veneers may shiver from every wave in this stormy royal, I assure you that the long timbers composing your prow and rudder come from a greater forest. That long grain lumber is known to withstand storms, to hold together, to hold its own, and to advance regardless. In any dark time, there is a tendency to veer towards fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. There is a tendency to fall into being weakened by dwelling on what is outside your reach, by what cannot yet be. Do not focus there. That is spending the wind without raising the sails. We are needed, that is all we can know. And though we meet resistance, we more so will meet great souls who will hail us, love us, and guide us. And we will know them when they appear. Didn't you say you were a believer? Didn't you say you pledged to listen to a voice greater? Didn't you ask for grace? Don't you remember that to be in grace means to submit to the voice greater? Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip towards an enduring good. What is needed for dramatic change is an accumulation of acts, adding to, adding more, and continuing. We know that it does not take everyone on earth to bring justice and peace, but only a small determined group who will not give up during the first, second, or 100th gale. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do is intervene in a stormy world, is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the soul throws sparks, can send up flares, build signal fires, causes proper masses to catch fire. To display a lantern of soul in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, both are acts of immense bravery and greatest necessity. Struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. If you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. There will always be times when you feel discouraged. I too have felt despair many times in my life, but I do not keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it. It is not allowed to eat from my plate. The reason is this: in my uttermost bones I know something, as you do. It is that there can be no despair when you remember why you came to earth, who you serve, and who sent you here. The good words we say and the good deeds we do are not ours. They are the words and deeds of the one that brought us here. In that spirit, I hope you will write this on your wall. When a great ship is in harbour and moored, it is safe, there can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. And that was part of Women Who Run with the Wolves. And just thought it was just so appropriate.
Very appropriate. Thank you, Mom.
Absolutely. Talk about coming into your power and how we all do it together and shine brighter. That was beautiful, Ma. Thank you so much. That was really.
You're very welcome. I hope it resonates with everyone.
It does. It
Good.
does.
Now let's breach the dams quick.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, let's.
Let's all just meet in Idaho and push.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So it's perfect. That's the perfect intro to what we're talking about. Like, where do we go? You know, those who do not give up. We've had a really, really tough year. We have all suffered a really intense loss this year, and the girls and I were just talking about this the other day. And it's taken all of us a while, and will continue to take us a while to get through this. But doing it together, and standing for something bigger. So there's lots going on. The dams, we're definitely going to talk about that, and the reason for that. And Howard, I'm hoping you can touch base on who I'm calling Baby J, but I know it's J6. New baby. That's why it's so important.
Well, yes, indeed. We have a new baby to celebrate, definitely. A new J-Pod. There he is. That's just about a day old. Right there in Puget Sound, North Puget Sound, you could say, between Edmonds and Kingston, if you know the territory, and right in tight with the family that was right in that same area for, I think, 3 days steady, and just kind of oscillating back and forth, would go north and then south and then north and then south, but stayed in very tight groups. And the baby just seemed very healthy and looking good. Even that shows a little bit of the pink, the sort of peach hue that they have, which is just so sweet, just so cute. You can see the little eye patch with a little peach hue to it. Um, but that's perfectly normal. But other photos look a little less so. It looks like it's just growing strong right from the start. So we're all really thrilled about that, and that brings the population back up to 75, which is still precarious. And it's also, worthy of note that mom, the presumed mom, I mean, that'll take a few more encounters to make sure, because sometimes there are babysitters, but we're 90% sure that it's J40 Suttles, who was born in 2004. So she's 19 years old, and that's a little late. She should have, most historically, the first birth is at around 14 to 15 years old. So she's had about 5 years of not having a calf. So you wonder if there was a difficulty and what the delay was. But we know there are a lot of miscarriages out there. The shortage of their food supply, their nutritional sustenance, Chinook salmon, is making it much more difficult for new mothers or any mothers to be able to bring their babies to fruition and nurture them and take care of them. So we're really happy to see that J40 brought that new baby forth and is looking really good. And they must be finding some fish somewhere. We don't know, where they're getting their food. There were some fecal samples were taken, were found. So they were eating something down there in Puget Sound. And they must have been for the last year and a half at least, J40, to be able to bring that new one to birth. So, that's good. I don't know how they're doing it. They're resilient like Toki. They find a way. They are doing what they can, but against big odds, because they just need more food. That's why we're saying today, reach the dams.
Definitely reach the dams. You also you mentioned to me, or you sent me a couple of videos. There was some behaviors documented
Right.
right from the ferry. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that, and then we can show a couple clips?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great, because I don't understand it. I don't know what it was. It didn't look especially, distressed or like there was any trouble, but just a really interesting kind of a behavior pattern that they were into most of the time that they were here for those 3 days, which was they would, bunch up in fairly tight groups of 8 or 10 or more in each group, because there's now 26 in J-Pod altogether with the new baby. And they would go one direction, like north, and then south, and then north, and then south, and go a couple of 100 yards, maybe a quarter mile, and then dive and come up heading the other direction. And that's not foraging. It's a new ritual. It's a new ceremony, I guess, that nobody has seen. And we can assume it had something to do with the birth of the new baby. But it was just real interesting. And to me, even if we can't explain it, if we can at least kind of take note, describe it and remember it, because it'd be nice to have some kind of understanding of what it means. Is it a problem? Is it a ceremony? Is it a celebration? We just don't know what it is, but it's really interesting behavior. So I just wanted to note that.
We have 2 clips. Let's show one of them.
Yeah. So
Sorry, folks, but several laws, state law dictate that I stop the boat within this close. I am not going to move until they're well clear of us. Cheryl.
Give me my phone! Excuse me. What does he do?
Oh, wow.
Didn't bring my camera. Well, Christmas, I don't bring my camera.
I know.
That's about half.
Yeah.
That's about half of one of them. I could show the other one too.
Well, they're real similar, so it's okay. That was taken from the ferry, which just stopped. Just dead in their tracks, because they didn't, want to take the chance of interfering, of intruding on what's going on or causing any harm. So they just stopped, which was great. Everybody on the ferry got this, pretty close up look at J-Pod out there, and they were still probably a quarter mile away. That was some zoom, but it's really good how the ferries are so sensitive to any whales around, and they will just stop in their tracks if there's any chance they're going to interfere with the whales. So that was really good footage, and it showed they were just one way and then the other way, and it's kind of at a slow pace, and it doesn't look agitated or really disturbed or anything, but just a real rhythmic pattern of one way and then the other way. So I can't describe it, but it's something to note for future reference. Definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When you see them out there in their habitat and their environment, you just know, talking about stepping into our power, right? Ours collectively and individually. We have to. Ma?
Can I ask Howard, do you think it was, you know what it reminded me of? When you're doing a big bowl of stew and you're trying to get to the bottom to make sure everything's cooked, and you go one way and then another way when you're stirring the pot. Do you think that's what they could have been doing to get to food, to salmon, or?
I really can't say. Yeah, that's
It just
plausible.
reminded me of
I don't have any better explanation. So yeah, that
Yeah,
it's
and
like that. They were eating something. I don't know if it had to do.
Oh,
That wasn't normal foraging behavior. Is all I can say. So I don't know.
let's talk a little bit about rewilding, Howard, and
Yeah.
some of that that's been going on, and why we should and need to do more of that.
Well, this was my brother Ken's vision. Was to purchase. He just everything aligned, and it just seemed like it was a cosmic need to buy this 45-acre former horse ranch. Sorry about their puppy dog. Former horse ranch that is on the banks of the Elwha River. In fact, part of it actually crosses the river. So part of the ranch is about 700 feet of the river in some of the best prime spawning grounds in the river between the two former dams that were removed. And just for the historical note, the dams had been up 100 years, and they were finally removed between 2011 and 2012, uh, and the salmon are coming back. That's just 10 years, and the salmon are already coming back in big numbers, and we've seen them. It's great. Last September, we were there and saw that there are big salmon, a couple of dozen big Chinook salmon were in the Elwha River right there on the ranch. It was just beautiful to see. They were staging before heading further upstream to spawn. Um, so our goal is to rewild, to take down the fences, uh, quit mowing, except when maybe it's prescribed somewhere for a fire break, but otherwise to let the ranch regrow, let nature work her wonders, and bring back whatever native plants and trees and animals. And already there are elk. There's maybe more than one herd. I don't know, but 50 to 75 elk will come in and just filter around all over. And now we've taken down the fences so they can go anywhere they want, and they do. It's beautiful to see. Roughly, like probably once a week or so, the elk come in, and there are deer most days, and some coyotes we're seeing right out the window other day. So, I mean, the wildlife is returning, and that's the whole purpose of it, so that it'll be a healthy watershed to be able to keep the water clear, pure, and in the kind of natural good condition that the salmon need it so they can reproduce and become orca food, take care of our orcas. And on that note, I should add that we won a major campaign about 6 or 8 months ago. Um, the Center for Whale Research signed on to a lawsuit to prevent the logging of, I think it was 126 acres right on the mountainside on the bank of the Elwha River. So that's the watershed. And if that had been logged, the erosion would have washed all kinds of basically mud and muck into the water. And that can really impair the ability of the salmon to spawn. So we really wanted to keep the watershed in good shape. Um, and that also heats up the water, when it doesn't have a chance to get filtered through the trees and through the soil and the root systems and all that. When it's just bare dirt, it washes down, and it can heat up the water too much. So anyway, that was a lawsuit, and the lawsuit was lost. And we're thinking, oh no, it's going to get logged. In fact, it was due to get logged at any time that they wanted to start logging. But the director of the Department of Natural Resources, Hilary France, stepped up and just signed her own executive order saying, "Do not log." After all, she took it off the market. So it's a mature mosaic of trees. A lot of old ones, new ones, many different species. So it's a really rich patch of forest, and now it is saved. So we have that to celebrate. That was a win. That was exercising our power. So we're real happy about that. And in the photo that you showed, can you put that up again? There, in the blue shirt is Darren Croft, Dr. Darren Croft, who is a professor of animal behavior at Exeter University in the UK, and is the executive director of the Center for Whale Research. And on the tractor is Oswald Hall, who is the ranch manager and has been assisting with bringing out the fences, lifting out the posts and everything. So there's a lot of fences. We've got most of them down now, but there's still more. So that's who's working on it.
I just took some pictures off your Facebook page, Howard. You're so cool.
Well, that's my favorite tree in the world. And one morning, it was just so beautifully framed with the fog in the background to highlight it and just show what a pretty tree that is. So thanks for showing that. And those are some of the elk. Yes, and another magical setting. This was just from the road, just coming onto the ranch. That's on the ranch property, and that's about 75 elk under a little bit of fog and with the blue sky above and the trees. It was just such a beautiful scene. I had to take that shot.
Gorgeous. It's absolutely
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
Absolutely. Howard, that's such a beautiful story, the true story of the river. And I just vision the whole our Snake River being just like that, and so thank you for sharing that story. It's absolutely beautiful, and I can see it in my mind's eye, our Snake River doing the same exact thing. So thank you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's not unusual to find southern residents foraging, finding salmon that are headed to the Elwha, right there at the mouth of the Elwha in Port Angeles. And it's 100 times more so off the Columbia for the Snake River salmon. That's where they are most of the time. We just don't know it because there's nobody out there watching, but that's where they have been, certainly in the winter months, and since the salmon have been depleted in the inside rivers, the Skagit and the Fraser River and other rivers in Puget Sound and in the Salish Sea, that's where they're going almost all the time for what's left of the Columbia salmon. And we've just got to bring down those Snake River dams. As Jim Waddell has told me, it's about 8 to 10 million smolts, which are they're 6 or 8 inches long. They've been up in the mountains since they spawned, for almost a year, and they're headed for the ocean, and they're stopped in their tracks because of those reservoirs behind the dams, and they don't make it. So they don't survive. So when we take down those dams, that's going to be 8 or 10 million that are going to be out in the ocean. They're going to make it to the ocean, and within 2 years, they're going to start coming back as big, fat, healthy Chinook salmon, and that's what those orcas need most. So it's a pretty short turnaround. Within 2 years from taking down those dams, there's going to be a significant increase in the number of salmon for the orcas. So we need to do it. We've needed to do it for a long time.
Yes, we have.
Let's talk about that, Christina. what do we have going on? What can we do? Talking about stepping into our power. How can we help?
Well, basically, we can help by doing what we've been doing, and I wanted to talk to people about that because I understand that we're all, feeling a little frustrated and whatever, and like we just keep doing it, and nothing happens. But that's not true because things have been happening, and we are getting closer and closer every time that we do this. Because Biden did sign the agreement. I know it's not the time frame that we want, but that doesn't mean that still can't happen. And we need to keep the pressure up. We need to continue to put the pressure on the Biden administration and Governor Inslee and Senator Murray and Senator Cantwell, because that's why we've gotten to the point where we've got, because we keep doing it, and you just have to never give up. Like we're never giving up, right? So Ma and Deb and myself and anyone else, Alma, everyone, please, we're gonna launch a campaign next weekend. Yes, a letter writing campaign again, because that's what we need to do. We're gonna have some new postcards. Bethany Walton, she's been doing a ton of memes for us to use, and just so you know, if you could put one of those on the screen, do you have one on that you can put on? No?
If you give me a minute, I don't have one.
Okay, yeah, because she's given us permission to use those for whatever we want. You can take those and you can text them to President Biden. You can print them out and make postcards out of them. We have a lot of great ideas. We're going to do some bigger postcards and have people signing them and have like a lot of signatures on one. And we have a lot of ideas that we're going to talk to you all about next week, because we are still not completely together with all of it. But you can still do it this week. You can still take some of those. They're really great. I think they're really powerful because she's got the orca just shooting out of the dams, and then there's all the Chinook salmon, which is what will happen when we do breach the dam. So I think they're really powerful, and I think as many of those circulate around social media and text them and to the Biden administration, I think that's great, because it's continuing to put the pressure on our government officials, which is exactly what we need to do. Also, we're going to get a rally going on at the beginning of March, a big one at the Capitol in Olympia. So that's another thing. We don't have the exact date yet, but at the beginning of March, we're going to have a big rally in front of Governor Inslee's office. And so we just have to keep doing what we're doing. That's what we got to do. And they'll breach them. They're going to breach them. This is the year it's going to happen. I have total faith that it's going to happen this year, because we are close. We really are close.
Christina, there's been more progress this year than there has been in a long time. And I know, like, it's not full, like, okay, this is what we're doing, but there's been a lot of progress. There's been a lot of conversation. It's on the president's radar. I mean, so yes, we keep doing it and not give up, because it is so close. I just want to say that, because congratulations to you guys and everyone who's been writing letters. It does make a difference, and it has made a difference. This year is proving it. It has. And then Bethany, I do have a screenshot of some of her memes, and I just want to say this is something cool about stepping into your power, right? Like, so Joe Phillips started doing AI Joe, right? And which is totally cute. And started messing around with AI and the photos and stuff. And then Bethany posted the other day, like, Joe got me into this and now I can't stop. And it's not something I've ventured into, but how cool is this? Let's check this out. So, opportunity to create graphics. And I mean, they're gorgeous. There's some other ones too. She's doing some for the Cove, Think Blue. So Bethany, Thank you for stepping into your power, finding your new creative outlet and sharing that with everyone, because it does make a difference, you guys. The more we share, the more we call, and it's a new audience, right? Like, we can share amongst ourselves and in our groups, but we know this stuff. So it is time to start branching out, sharing other ways, print some of these graphics, leave them at the library, leave them at the store, leave them, like, if it just gets someone's attention to Google breach the dams, you know what I mean? They're going to get a whole wealth of stuff. Someone was just asking, and I haven't talked to Howard about this, but I was planning to talk to Howard about this. So really doing like a TokiTV TikTok where, account, so that, Howard, you are a wealth of knowledge. So having little short videos on a new platform that mean it's not new, but new to spread this awareness, you guys. There's so many people out there that are looking for something to do in a way to help. And so if we have a way we can share that with us, let's do it. And so, Christina, you sent me a couple of links. The writing campaign, I can't wait to do that. I will go to Washington and march with anyone. People who do not know about it. Any films you guys could recommend, or how else do we get this word out? Because we know, and it's time to share it, like, massively.
Yes, yes. Well, the ones that we already know that we've shared before, but yeah, you're right. We have a new audience. I mean, a lot of people that are new and don't know. But just one second, I'm going to back up really quick, because I just wanted to say thank you so much about, coming into the power, because look at Bethany, she's over there in New Zealand. That's where she is. Okay. And look at her. What a shining star she is. She's like, she's just, and she's not just doing it for the orcas, she's doing it for animals. She's just an animal warrior. And I just wanted to say so much gratitude, because it's just the Toki magic again, the Toki magic, bringing everyone together, bringing Bethany and Joe, and they got this thing going on, and it's so adorable, and she's having a lot of fun with it. So I just wanted to say a big shout out, because that's awesome, and it's just more Toki magic, for sure. And well, there's all those films, Damned to Extinction. There's actually, that was what I was going to say. Something that people can do is host a screening. If you go to Damn Sense on their website, yep, thank you. They have a place there where it says host a screening, and that way you can get like a DVD, or they just send it to you with a link or whatever, and you can go to your local library, or if you're a teacher, you can play it in your classroom, or people even do it like in recreation centers, and that's a great way to, spread the awareness. And then they Damn to Extinction will contact you and have an invitation to discuss it afterwards, so that's really awesome. That's another really great thing that people can do just to spread awareness, for sure. And Artificial, that's a good one. And there's a couple of new ones. Howard, I can't remember the names of them. I have to be honest, I did not see them. I did not watch them yet, but there's a couple of new documentaries, right, Howard?
There's Covenant of the
Well,
Salmon.
there's one, Covenant of the Salmon People, which is, I think,
Thank you.
I haven't actually seen it myself. I need to.
Yeah.
But it focuses on the Nez Perce, which are the tribe in Idaho mainly, right up there in the headwaters of the Snake River, who have been campaigning, battling, doing everything they can since before the dams were even built. They knew what would happen, like every other salmon biologist knew what would happen, that it would decimate the salmon populations up there. So they've been fighting it ever since. They have not signed on to the promises to hold litigation. The pro dam people, the Bonneville Power Authority and the Army Corps of Engineers, and the administrations and Congress have have offered millions of dollars to the tribes for localized salmon restoration in the rivers and creeks and stuff, and that's all good. But along with their promise to not sue, to not campaign to bring down the dams, to keep silent. So they bought silence from a lot of the tribes. I mean, it's a very difficult proposition to turn down that money, but the Nez Perce did turn down that money because they can't stay silent. They've been campaigning very loudly. I was privileged to meet their chairman, Shannon Wheeler, when he came to the Toki totem ceremony on San Juan Island. And he is a very effective spokesperson, as so many other Nez Perce and Yakima and the Confederated Tribes of the Columbia. They're all in agreement, and with their unanimity, a lot of the Salish tribes who don't want to get ahead of the people who the tribes that are up the river that are closest to the salmon, but they are all united in their campaigns to remove the Snake River dams. That's more. That's in the last couple of years. So that has really come out, and they're showing their power. So it's the forces are massive to bring down the dams, but the forces to keep the dams are also entrenched. There are a couple of Congress critters, electeds, who are campaigning using all kinds of devious uh, falsehoods, basically propaganda, to keep the dams in place because they're a boondoggle, they're a gravy train, they're free money, they're money that the federal government and the ratepayers pour into the region, and so it's no wonder there's a lot of support for the dams. Basically, it's a it's welfare for the corporate farmers up there, as well as so many other interest groups that are benefiting from it. So it's a purely economic decision, and the salmon don't have any other option, and the orcas don't have any other option. The salmon need the rivers and the mountains, and the orcas need the salmon. So it's just got to be opened up. Those dams have got to come down. Let the rivers run. So yeah, there are there are other documentaries. I kind of branched off from your question, but there are some other documentaries in the works. I can't think of them all right now, but there's a lot
Well,
of
then,
real
Deb,
good education.
Deb Allers mentioned a few, and I was able to put the links up while you guys were talking, like co-extinction also.
Okay.
So there's some links, folks. If you go in, you'll see some links. Christina sent me a link. I put it in the chat. So there's some of the information to spread, again, get people educated on it, which you'll remember is part of Toki's legacy, right? Is the education piece is going to be huge because we can tell people to write and we can even tell them what to say. But when they learn it for themselves, then that's where that passion comes in. And so if we can spark some passion, some little flames of passion, I think that's what we do, right? In her name, because that's what she did for us.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and all of those are really good. You will spark your passion by watching them because a lot of people just don't know like what's happening. And yeah, Howard, thanks for talking about that because that's what I always say. The orcas, they don't have a choice. They can't go somewhere else, they need the river to be free so they can get the fish, and the people can do something else because they can go somewhere else and do something else. So
And they
I
don't
was
have
like,
cell phones to be texting the White House. So
that's
That's
we
right.
all
true.
do.
We've got to do that for the salmon and for the orcas. That's true.
for Toki's legacy, that's her family, and that's what she wants us to do. I know for sure. So, so we're gonna have more information next week. We're gonna have a date for the rally and everything, and we're gonna have some really cool postcards too. We're gonna have an array of them that you can choose from, and also we're going to help people if they don't have the means to print out postcards themselves and put stamps on them. You know, like we'll send you like 10 postcards with stamps on them, so then you can get those 10 out if you know, because it does get a little, I mean, not that, but it can be. There's a lot of people that are on a tight budget, and so we just want to make sure we help and we get that out there. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff for you next week to grasp and hold in your hand, tangible, and get it going on. So yep, we're gonna do it.
We are going to do it. And Deb Allers, I was going to email you, and then Christina said you're out, but I see that you're hanging out with us. So I should have. But beginning of the year, Deb Allers, I would like for you to come on again and more often, because we want to talk about a wealth of knowledge in that area with breaching the dams and the fight. And you want to talk about a passion. Deb Allers, definitely, we want you to come hang out with us. And she's making all these comments on reiterating some of the things Howard is saying. So, okay. So she's heading to Hawaii for a few weeks. And then she'll be back on and she'll come with us. So yay, thanks, Deb Allers. That's Deb Allers, by the way. It says Facebook user, but I know who that is. It's Deb Allers. So thanks. There's a lot, you guys. There's a lot we can do and a lot moving forward, and a lot to not give up on that we've been doing. And that's really what I wanted us to just look at today. It's been a really, really rough year. And I won't stop saying that because it's been a really, really rough year. And but we've stuck through it together. And you know, some people were saying early on in the show, like the reason that we'll continue to meet every week is for reasons like this. You know, thank you for always being there during the most difficult time this year. I don't know what I would have done without you all here on TokiTV. Sending all my love to you, wonderful people, and we love you too, and want you to be on. This is everybody's, everyone's platform. So if you want to come on and tell us about your memes and what inspired you to create new memes, come and tell us about that. If you start your own campaign and at your, local whatever, come on and tell everyone about it, because it's about sharing ideas.
And please do.
Yeah, do all those things and then come and tell us about it.
Yeah.
Lots to do. We haven't even touched on the captive industry. We will not stop. And in order, we want these places to change their business model to be able to, do more roller coasters or whatever you're going to do, and help support sanctuaries. And so we need sanctuaries. So we'll be talking a lot about that this coming year. May this be the year of several sanctuaries. The writing's on the wall, it's the writing's on the wall. We just got to push it along. Ma?
Oh, there I am. No, I was just going to add everything that you've already said, but for me, it's just even more urgent now. We've just seen another baby being born to our beautiful, southern resident orcas. 8 years is totally unacceptable. And that's what we've got to push and get over to the government and President Biden. 8 years is totally unacceptable. You've got to do it this year. This has got to be now. And it's so urgent that's the word. It is urgent. It is critical that this is done now. And so, as Christina was saying, anything that you can do, we'll discuss all next week, but anything and everything that you can think of that you can send over to President Biden to make a bigger campaign so he takes notice of it, then that's what we're about. That's what we're gonna do. Everything and anything we need to throw at him and throw at him this year. So thanks everyone and Happy New Year.
And people are asking, they want an update on John Carlos Frey and the documentary he's working on. So the last, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, he's done a ton of interviews. He's spent a lot of time up there in Washington. And I just sent him an email now. So hopefully maybe next week we'll have a pretty good update on where he is with the documentary. But we know there's documentaries coming out about Toki. I think that it is important for us, and we will continue to hear on this show and in this group honor her, because she's the driving force who has brought this team together. And when I say this team, I mean every single person who listens to this, regardless if it's today or in a month. Someone else just put, they were like, wow, talk about Toki magic. They just heard about her for the first time in July of this year and brought to hear in on this show. And that's definitely something that just happens, brings people together. That was one of the most beautiful gifts. And she did it for a reason. This is a powerful group, powerful team. So everyone step into your own power individually and know that it is collectively ours. Alma, you haven't said too much, but I want to check in with you if there's anything you want to say before we close today.
Yeah, just always come to the end of the show with this appreciation for this perfect balance. Am I
can't tell if it's you
echoing or something?
Try now.
Just the balance of this group with, the perfect balance of science, activism, and love, which is like, has to be the basis for everything. And, stepping into your power. I'm thinking this week when I knew that was the subject of the show, and it's already written in Toki's legacy in the mission statement. All those things are there. We advocate for what we want. We ask for help when we need it. We do it with science backing. We do it with love. We just everything. We remain positive. All the things in Toki's legacy mission statement are about stepping into your power. So it's pretty beautiful that it's already written, and that's all we have to do is just keep moving forward with it. Reach those dams.
And one little a brief part of the mission statement, which I think, Howard, you and I can work on a way to really blast that out there, because it's a powerful statement. But one of the very first parts, respect and honor Toki's courageous spirit, her keen intelligence, her engaging personality, and her gentle nature, as shown by her willingness to build trusting, insightful, and playful friendships. It is okay to have playful friendships, because that was in her nature. That is who she was. So it's okay to laugh, guys. It's okay to come together and, celebrate. And
which reminds me, we need, Howard, thank you for bringing rewilding into the subject as well today. I think we need to rewild ourselves as well by grounding with the earth more sailor sea swims together, just tree hugging, whale hugging, all the stuff that brings us back to center and back to the earth, rewilding ourselves.
Yeah.
Because without our connection to nature, we have nothing.
Yep.
So thank you for bringing rewilding back. That's part of stepping into our power.
Yeah.
And when you hang out with Alma in the Pacific Northwest, there's some rewilding going on for sure. Just Alejandro. You're on mute, Alejandro.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm swimming in the ocean now. I'm swimming in the ocean.
Bring it in the new year.
Let's do it, Alejandro.
Happy New Year to everyone. Don't drink and drive like I will do. So I hope to see you tomorrow, everybody. No, so much hope, and thank you to, happy for the news with new baby, Shay 40. Congratulations, and hope to see many more babies coming in 2024.
Yeah.
Just honoring the Toki's legacy.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Happy New Year
Happy New Year.
to everyone.
Uber.
Happy New Year.
Howard, any final words?
Well, here's to rewilding in 2024 and reach them now.
Cheers. Cheers.
So that,
Everybody. Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
We'll just close. Again, it's the end of the year. I'll do a recap at some point. That's always fun to do, to have a recap of all the shows so we can watch and see, what we've done so far and what we continue to do. And we'll just close with some pictures of our beloved Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's. So you guys have a wonderful week, and see you next week with some more action steps. Look forward to that, guys.
See you next year. Bye.